Hey everyone, it's me, Matt. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing great and I hope you've all had a wonderful week. So we had a little bit of rain blow through Central Florida this morning and I wasn't able to get outside as early as I wanted to, but I just checked the radar and it looks like I should be in the clear for the next few hours. So I thought I'd get outside and work on my back patio and swap out my seasonal containers with some of my favorite heat-loving summer plants. So let's get into it. So spinning you around, I'll give you the lay of the land. So here's the space I'll be working in today. I've got 4 seasonal containers on my patio that I try to swap out 2 to 3 times a year. Currently, they're looking pretty sad. I've got 3 between my lounge chairs and 1 more tucked back in the left corner. You can see they've got Dusty Miller and Juncus, as well as the remnants of some white snapdragons and white alyssum. These containers have been in desperate need of a refresh for weeks. So before I show you all the beautiful heat-loving plants that I selected for this project, I'm going to quickly prep my containers for new plants. I'm going to save the Dusty Miller and transplant it out into my front landscape, and then what's left of the snapdragons and alyssum will get tossed into my green waste, and I'm actually going to keep the Juncus plants for this container project and use them as part of my new summer arrangements. There we go, my containers are all ready for new plants. You saw how I completely refilled the 3 shorter containers with fresh Miracle-Gro potting mix, and I only refilled the top half of the taller container. This taller one actually has bricks piled in the lower half. When I first bought it, I was afraid it might blow over during a hurricane, so I loaded it with bricks. Looking back on it now, the bricks are probably overkill. Also, I didn't amend these containers with any fertilizer since my Miracle-Gro potting mix is supposed to feed for about 6 months. And I know I probably sound like a broken record to some of you, but I always recommend swapping out the soil in your seasonal containers. Flowering plants are heavy feeders and they really benefit from new potting soil. It definitely helps set them up for a successful season. And then really quick, I wanted to bring you up to my front yard. I went ahead and transplanted the Dusty Miller into my front landscape behind my purple gomphrena and white bacopa ground cover. The Dusty Miller will hopefully fill in some more and make a really nice backdrop in this space. Alright, so we're back on my back patio. So now that my containers have been prepped and my Dusty Miller's been transplanted, let me show you all the beautiful plants I picked up for my patio containers. So this is my plant haul for today's project. These are some of my favorite heat-loving summer plants. Looking at these paintus flowers first, you can see I've got 3 different colors. I've got 4 white ones, 4 light pink ones, and 4 in a deep magenta color. These plants are hardy in USDA zones 10 and 11, so they're perennials here in Central Florida. I've actually got some planted in my front landscape, and they've been really low maintenance over the years. And for those of you in lower zones, you can definitely grow these as summer annuals. So these plants will grow to be about 12 to 18 inches tall and about 12 inches wide. They've got a more compact, bushy growth habit. They do well in full sun and part shade. They bloom year-round, and the pollinators love them. Actually, check out this swallowtail butterfly that was feeding on them at the garden center. They really are a pollinator magnet. The next plant variety I picked up are these dark purple Angelonia flowers. In my experience, these plants are bulletproof. They thrive in our hot, humid Florida summers. They need at least 6 hours of sun per day. They'll grow about 12 to 18 inches tall and wide. These plants are hardy in USDA zones 9 through 11, but are considered a tender perennial, so they won't survive a cold snap with freezing temperatures. But with that said, these plants can be grown as annuals in lower zones. Also, you can see these plants are just finishing up their first flush of blooms. In a few days, once all the flowers have faded, I'll come through and cut off all the spent bloom spires. This will give the plants a cleaner appearance and encourage them to push new blooms. Next, I picked up some silver dichondra plants for the 3 black containers. They're an amazing spilling plant with such a unique texture. I thought they'd look great with the Juncus plants that I salvaged from the previous container arrangements. Dichondra is heat and drought tolerant. It grows to be about 2 to 3 inches tall, and its runners can grow to be 3 to 4 feet long. It can be grown in full sun or part shade, and it's hardy in USDA zones 8 through 10, but can be grown as an annual in lower zones. Lastly, I'll do a quick review on my salvage juncus plants. These plants grow about 2 feet tall, and they'll gradually spread to be about 6 to 8 inches wide. They need at least 6 hours of sun per day. They like full sun, but can tolerate some shade, and they're hardy in USDA zones 5 through 10. And then you can also see I secured the bases of these plants with some green garden tie tape. This will help them maintain a taller, more upright appearance. So now comes the fun part. Let's get all these plants planted in my containers. There we go, everything is all planted and watered in and set in place. These containers look so much better, they looked so worn out and tired before. This container refresh definitely breathes some new life into my back patio area. I can't wait for these plants to put on some size and really show off this summer. So as far as watering, these containers aren't hooked up to my drip system. I'll hand water them daily for the first week or so, depending on how much rain we get. Once their roots settle in, I can probably get away with watering them every 2 to 3 days, depending on how hot it is. Container plants tend to dry out faster than in-ground plants, but my Miracle-Gro potting mix should definitely help with moisture retention. Also, I proactively shook some of this Captain Jack's bug and slug killer in each of the containers. This stuff definitely helps with summer pest control. I'll be sure to link it in the video description for reference. So that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I've inspired you to plant up some heat-loving summer plants in your own garden. I need to go inside and cool off, but remember to hit those like and subscribe buttons so you can hang out with me in future videos. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.